Okay, let's just jump right in. Picture this. It's 2026 and the entire design landscape has changed. Seriously, AI isn't just another tool in your toolbox anymore. It's basically your new creative partner. And the designers who are really killing it, the ones at the top, they're not just using AI, they're masters at talking to it. So today, we're going to break down the 7 prompt tricks that are the real difference maker between the pros and everyone else. First things first, let's get one thing totally clear. This is not some passing fad. A whopping 61% of design professionals are already using AI in their daily workflows. So, if you're not on board yet, you're not just falling behind, you're kind of missing out on the new industry standard. But here's the catch. Just using AI isn't nearly enough.
And this is where it gets really interesting. We've got this huge gap. Even with so many people using AI, only about 45% of designers feel like they're getting a positive return on their investment. And almost a third feel like AI just isn't living up to the hype. So what gives? Why are so many talented designers getting frustrated instead of getting results? Well, it all boils down to this. The gap isn't about the tech. It's a communication problem. The difference between someone who fumbles around with AI and someone who truly commands it is one single skill: prompt engineering. That's the key. It's how you unlock all that speed, creativity, and productivity that AI has been promising us. So in this video, we're going to cover those 7 essential tricks to make you a 10x designer. Then we'll look at the actual productivity payoff. We've got the numbers to prove it. We'll also flag some common mistakes you absolutely want to avoid. And finally, we'll talk about what this all means for your future and how your role is evolving into something more like a creative director. All right, let's get to the main event. Think of this next part as your personal masterclass in talking to AI. These are the 7 tricks that are going to completely change the way you approach your work. Trick number 1 is the absolute foundation of everything. It's the role, task, context, format, framework. And this slide just shows it perfectly. A lazy prompt, like make a landing page, is going to get you generic, useless results every single time. But the 10x prompt, it gives the AI a role, a specific task, the context it needs to understand the project, and the format for the output. You're not just asking for a thing, you're basically giving the AI a job description. Okay, trick number 2 is all about empathy. This is how you make the AI think about humans. Instead of a generic request, you build a scenario. You give it a real user persona, like Sarah, who's 32 and feeling anxious about getting back into fitness. This gives the AI vital psychological context. And suddenly, it's not just a tool for drawing boxes, it's a partner in creating genuinely human-centered designs. Now, the best designers today aren't just using one tool. They're like conductors of an orchestra. And that brings us to trick 3, orchestrating a whole workflow across different specialized AIs. Maybe you start with ChatGPT for the high-level strategy and copy. Then you hop over to Midjourney for visual exploration. Then you use a tool like Figma Make to generate the UI. And finally, you use AI plugins to polish everything up. You're chaining them together, and the final result is way more powerful. Trick number 4 is a big one. You have to stop trying to write one single perfect prompt. It's a myth. It doesn't exist. The real magic happens in the follow-up. Your first prompt is just the starting point. It's the back and forth, the strategic follow-up questions, where you really build complexity and guide the AI toward a professional-level result. It's a conversation, not a command. Now, for anyone who's getting into visual AI like Midjourney, trick number 5 is completely non-negotiable. You have to learn the parameters. This is how you get technical control over the output. You can tell it the exact aspect ratio with -R, you can control how artistic it gets with -stylize, and you can even tell it what not to include using negative prompts like -no. This is your secret weapon for sure. And here's what that looks like in the real world. See how it all comes together? The core idea is simple, a mobile banking app UI. But it's those parameters at the end, the 9:16 aspect ratio, the specific stylized value, and that little command for no shadows that elevate this from a vague idea into a precise, directed concept. Trick 6 might feel a little bit backwards at first, but it is so powerful, and it's this: add constraints. An AI with no boundaries is just going to give you the most generic, boring stuff. But when you add smart rules like avoid the color blue or make sure you specify the hex codes, you force it to get more creative within those boundaries. You get much more focused, useful results. And finally, trick number 7. This one might sound a little bit nuts, but trust me, it works. It's the politeness multiplier. Just adding a simple please or thank you to your prompt can actually make the AI's response better. Why? Well, think about it. It was trained on billions of human conversations. And in our conversations, politeness often leads to more helpful, more thoughtful answers.
It kind of primes the AI to be a partner, not just a machine. So, we've gone through the how. Now let's talk about the why. Because these tricks aren't just cool party tricks. They deliver real, tangible results. And the proof is right there in the numbers. By really mastering these techniques, designers are seeing, on average, a 33% reduction in the time it takes to iterate on designs. I mean, think about that. That's a third less time spent on tedious revisions, which means products get out the door faster. That is a direct impact on the bottom line. And this chart shows us exactly where those huge time savings are coming from. And what's so fascinating is that the biggest wins aren't necessarily in the final pixel pushing. They're in automating all the work around the design process, sifting from user research, generating copy, brainstorming ideas. You get those 10x gains by clearing your plate of all the stuff that distracts you from pure creative work. So this all leads to a really fundamental shift in what it means to be a designer. It's time to start thinking beyond just pushing pixels around a screen and really start seeing yourself as the creative director of this incredibly powerful system you have at your fingertips. And to help you get there, let's quickly cover a few common mistakes to avoid. First, no more vague requests like design something modern. That means nothing to an AI. Second, don't expect it to be perfect on the first try. Always iterate. Third, never forget to give it context. Fourth, remember that a prompt for Midjourney won't work the same in ChatGPT. Adapt your prompts. And finally, when you find a prompt that works, save it. Document it so you're not reinventing the wheel every single time. I want to leave you with this really powerful thought from the source material. In a world where basically anyone can generate a decent-looking design, your ability to guide and direct the AI with masterful prompts is what makes you irreplaceable. It is your defense against becoming a commodity. So, I'll end with this question for you to think about. The AI can spit out 100 designs in the time it takes you to make a cup of coffee. Your job isn't to create one of those anymore. Your new job is to be the one who decides which of those 100 directions is even worth exploring. The question is no longer, what can I create? It's, what will I direct it to do?